What's up, everybody? If you're trying to build a business, if you're trying to build a consultancy, if you're trying to pitch an app idea to investors, or if you're just trying to expand your network of connections, you're probably going to have to write a cold email. There's a right way and a wrong way, and we're going to find out in this video. Let's get started. Now, I myself have written many cold emails. In fact, I have closed business deals to do AdWords account management over email and then phone calls. So I have a little bit of experience in this arena. I'm not the world's best cold emailer, but I do have some practical experience. And so I'm going to share with you some things that I have learned over, cold emailing hundreds of people, as well as some things that I see on a nearly daily basis, particularly on LinkedIn, that really illustrate what it is you do not want to do in a cold email. So these are a few images of pitches I've received, and so let's read them. It says, "Hello, Phil. I was hoping you had a few minutes to take a look at our company information and our services, or to forward this introduction to someone who might be interested in these services. I'm focused on growing my LinkedIn network with blah, blah, blah. I was doing a search on LinkedIn and came across your profile. I noticed my hourly rate, $25. I see that all the time. You guys, if any web developers, SEO guys are watching this, charge more than $25. That shit's insane, dude. How are you going to make any money at $25 an hour? Whatever. Blah, blah, SEO. Please see our portfolio and check our work quality. Would love to connect and possible chat with you if you need our services or have any question. If you don't have the time, blah, 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 no problem. Just let me know so I can update my list." Well, first of all, let's start at the back. I know you don't have a list. You're just on LinkedIn spamming out these messages. And this is one of the more egregious examples. I put it first because it violates a number of cardinal rules. So as I've said in many other videos, nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about me. People only care about themselves, right? This is a fundamental fact of life. The sooner you wrap your head around it, the sooner you're going to be a more proficient writer of cold email. This guy's talking about himself the whole time. He loves himself. He's totally in love. He's going to marry himself. He's off to Vegas to elope with himself, dude. It's insane. He doesn't talk about what I do, how he can specifically help me grow my business. He didn't even look at my profile. He doesn't know what I do, right? He doesn't know I'm into AI. He doesn't know I'm into machine learning or freelancing, or that I even did AdWords stuff. If he had at least read my profile, he could have said, "Hey, I noticed you did some AdWords stuff, and maybe we can refer people to each other. I do SEO. These are related services. Maybe we can, strike up a business relationship." This guy didn't do any of that. He just launched in with word vomit all over me saying, "Hey, man, I'm awesome, but I only charge $25 an hour, by the way," which is poverty third world wages, essentially. And talking about himself over and over and over again. So this is fundamental rule number one. You need to write you, as in customer, client, prospect, lead focused cold emails. This applies to LinkedIn. This applies to email. This applies to Upwork. This applies to cover letters. This applies pretty much to anything. You need to be talking about what you can bring to the other person, not about what you do, but how specifically you can help them achieve their goals, because that's all people care about. At least, if I cared about something else, I would have messaged him, right? If I wanted his services, I'd have said, "Hey, can you help me out?" But I didn't do that. He's cold emailing me, cold messaging me, which isn't a problem, but he's doing it all wrong. So let's take a look at the next one. "Hi, Phil. We are a full-service web design and web development and mobile app agency. Our work combines best-of-breed open-source software with powerful cloud services." So already this guy is we, and a whole gaggle of friggin' buzzwords in here. This is just word salad. You can tell he's tailoring this to people that are small business owners. Best-of-breed open-source software with powerful cloud services. As a tech guy, I wouldn't really care about that. I know all that stuff exists. These buzzwords don't motivate me. They don't do anything for me. Blah, blah, blah. Next up, he says, "We have a strong passion and talent for creating impressive websites, and we're pretty cool people too." Well, isn't that awesome? I bet your mom loves you as well. I bet your mama told you you're pretty cool. Man, I got to jump all over this business opportunity. $25 an hour. Man, who could have predicted that? And then he sends a portfolio. Now notice the two on the left send a portfolio. This is a common tactic. They just want you to click through and see what they do. I don't know if they actually develop those websites. Maybe, if I scroll to the bottom, I'll see their web design company name, but whatever. And then he also talks about expertise, what they do with inconsistent capitalization. That kind of bugs me. And then he says, I would be happy to assist you if you could let me know requirements and a suitable time to connect. I think that's the first time he mentions me, you, as in, the person he's emailing or messaging. So once again, he breaks the cardinal rule. I only care about myself. If you're going to try to interrupt my day, you need to be bringing something to me specifically. So this totally gets disregarded, and I just, disconnect from these people on LinkedIn, unfriend them or whatever. I don't know what the word is, but I totally sever the connection. I don't even reply. I have made the mistake of critiquing this for somebody one time, and they didn't even reply. They didn't care. I guess I hurt their fragile ego or whatever, but I'm sure the dude was just, desperate, and someone says, hey, you got to message people on LinkedIn, and so he just vomits words. Now, this next one is super interesting. This is a personal trainer. Now, this is totally different, and I actually respect the hustle. Personal training is probably harder to break into than web design, because there's even more personal trainers than there are web designers. Anybody that gets fit thinks that they're qualified to train other people, but he commits a number of other sins. So he says 6E, I don't know what that means, 6E, week summer body program, weight loss 2x week, fat burn and sculpt 3x week, torch fat and build muscle 4x week, $300 a month, appreciation of referrals, and looking for investors. Now, I actually hadn't read the looking for investors part. I kind of glossed over this. There's a number of issues here. So first of all, is this relevant to me? He shows me a picture of some chick. Now, first of all, I can't tell if the chick actually lost weight. So I don't know. He says 150 to 132 pounds. Did she lose weight? Are these, is it the same girl? I can't even tell. I don't know. But first of all, I'm a dude. What do I care what you do for some chick? I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to me what you do for some chick, obviously. I'm rocking a dad bod, I'm not going to lie. But, I don't want to look like her, right? I'd rather look like the dad bod than look like her. So if you're messaging men with pictures of women saying, I'm going to make you look like this, that's a horrible, horrible pitch right off the bat. This is relevant to you guys because the message here is your messaging needs to be relevant to your audience, right? If you're pitching investors, you're trying to find investors for your AI app, you don't want to pitch necessarily investors for something like crypto, right? Because that's a totally perpendicular space. Maybe they'd be interested in it, but you just don't want to be talking about AI to a crypto investor just to be safe. And likewise, if you're trying to find male clients, then you at least want to send them a picture of a dude, right? Someone going from a dad bod to jacked powerlifter would at least catch my attention. And looking for investors, that's kind of crazy. I don't know how you're going to invest in a personal trainer. I don't even understand that, but whatever. So let's move on to the next batch of bad pitches. Next one says, hi, are you looking to mobile apps and website development? We can design and develop mobile apps to help you deliver more value to customers in your specific industry. Okay, so this is off to a better start. So he's at least talking about me. That I can give props for that. And he doesn't say it's $25 an hour. And I put on the name here. I didn't mean to call anybody out. This isn't about any one individual. This is what I see people do over and over again. I just quit accepting connection requests from these people because I'm sick of reading this stuff. But this is better. It's right off the bat a little bit better talking about me. But, instead of saying your specific industry, why don't they say artificial intelligence or pay-per-click advertising? Because I mentioned that stuff on my LinkedIn profile, or maybe even, process engineering and Intel, stuff like that, or even physics. Anything about my particular profile would significantly improve on this and at least get me to read it a little bit more carefully. Our following app services, I don't care about any of this. And again, you have inconsistent capitalization. So why is that important? You may think I'm being nitpicky here, but you need to understand, if you're going to write a cold email, you are the one seeking attention and a response from the person on the other end. And that person is looking for any excuse at all to ignore you and go back to whatever it is they were doing, looking at death metal kitty videos on YouTube, or maybe that's just me. But either way, they're looking for any excuse to totally ignore you and move on with their day. And if they see inconsistent capitalization, that's an excuse, right? You have no attention to detail. You can't capitalize words in your own cold message. How the hell are you going to capitalize the right words on my website or my app or whatever it is you're proposing to develop for me? Any little thing matters. Every little detail matters, and they all add up to an impression, right? You're painting a picture of who you are, what you can bring to the table to the person on the other end, and capitalization does matter. Other thing is the plurality. Are you looking to two mobile apps? What does that mean? Looking to mobile apps? Mobile apps isn't a verb, so I guess to develop a mobile app and website development, I don't know. I guess 4. Are you looking for mobile apps and website development? That would make more sense. And this also tips me off to one other thing, is this person is not a strong native English speaker. Now, that's fine. That's not a sin, to be born somewhere other than an English-speaking country. That's just, where you were born. No big deal. But you should at least, if you're going to be messaging native English speakers, get your English down. If I'm going to be talking to people in Chinese, I'm going to be sure that my Mandarin is correct, because I don't want to come across as someone who doesn't care enough to learn their language, right? If I'm going to be doing business with people in China, I damn well better know Mandarin, because that's their language, right? Likewise, if you're not a native English speaker and you're messaging English people, you really need to be able to speak the language fluently. You need to have good grammar and be able to convey an impression of attention to detail and just general competence. Next up is hi. Hope you're doing well. Are you looking for a new opportunity? Now this is, oh my God, this is the worst. So if you guys don't know what this is, I know what this is right off the bat. Can you guess what this is? If you can't guess what this is, you haven't gone to any local networking events. What this is a multi-layer marketing scheme. What this guy is doing, I don't have to look at his profile. I don't have to know anything else about him. The word opportunity tells me everything I need to know. If he was a recruiter, he would say, I have a job that matches your interests, that's in process engineering, software development, whatever. They would have, a recruiter would at least take the time to write out a full email saying what the job was about. This is someone that is peddling their pyramid scheme. And yeah, I said pyramid scheme because they're all pyramid schemes. I don't care what you say. Your MLM is different. No, it's not. Your products you're selling are just a cover to keep the SEC off your back while you bring in more people and build your downline to get passive income and build your dream. These people are super annoying, and if you say yes to this, man, they are going to talk your ear off about whatever it is: Melaleuca, Amway, Cutco knives, frickin' Avon, any of these things are all multi-layer marketing schemes where they get you to recruit people to make money. So obviously not interested in that. This is a terrible pitch because, well, first of all, it's, not really a pitch. I put it in here because it's kind of funny. If you've ever gone to local networking events, you know that it is populated by real estate agents, insurance agents, financial planners, and multi-level marketers. Every now and again, you'll get like car detailers, window washers, blue-collar type people that are just trying to make an honest living. Not that financial planners aren't, but, my main gripe is with the multi-layer marketing people. So let's move on. Phil, I'm writing to ask if you're interested in working with an experienced web design company at this time. We charge just $25 an hour, smiley face. Now, so they're asking me a question. They do use the word you, but it's not really you focused, right? And the answer is no, and I'm $25 an hour. They're all $25 an hour. I see this all the time. We are an award-winning, creative, and full-service digital agency that helps blah, blah, blah. It's all about them, and they list off some their stack. Okay, fine. We take you from wherever you're at to full scale and include thorough testing across everything we produce to maximize your website's efficiency. So that's a little bit better. Talking about full scale. Okay, that's a little better, but it's still not very good. And then they have, of course, the portfolio of stuff. And that is pretty much the sum and the whole of it. These are several examples. I've ranted for about 15 minutes on terrible stuff. Let's take a look at something that's actually pretty good. I didn't respond to it, but it is a much better cold email. So let me switch screens here 1 second. Okay, so this is an example of what I would consider a pretty decent cold email. It got me to open it and to read the whole thing. I did not reply, and the reason I didn't reply is because I am not in the market for this individual's services. But Mahmoud, his email is clean, it's tight, so we're going to go over it and show you what's good about it. He starts out, hello, Phil. I saw your YouTube channel and then visited your website, and here's how to improve it. Okay, right away, he's talking about me specifically. I have a YouTube channel and I have a website. These are both true. And also his, obviously his headline is subject is I visited your website, and it puts the website in the description so that way I know that it's directed to me. And here's how to make it better. Now, the here's how to make it better part is a little sketchy, so it implies that it is not good. Now, I'm not sensitive, so if someone implies my website isn't good, it's not going to hurt my feelings, and it isn't going to make me, not want to do business with that person. It's just that some people may look at that and say, my website's awesome. Screw you. What do you know? And he may not know. Maybe it doesn't, but maybe I were making $100,000 a month off the website, right? I'm not at this stage, but maybe I were. In which case, how to make it better? I'm going to say, well, what do you know? I'm guarantee you making more than you are, but whatever. So it is addressed to me very specifically. It can only be addressed to me. It's not cookie cutter, at least the headline so far. And then when he says, I saw your YouTube channel and then visited your website, it's, that is obviously directed at me, and he's done his research. That is step number one to writing a solid cold email is to maintain relevance by researching your target. So when I was writing cold emails, I was sacrificing quantity for quality. What I would do was I would find the prospect, the person I wanted to connect with, and then I would look at everything they had done. I would look at all their social channels. I'd look at everything they had done and try to find something that I could talk about. I would look for podcast interviews. I would look for articles they wrote, awards they received, press releases they had put out, anything I could to kind of break the ice and let them know that I'm someone that has at least done his homework, and I can write something specifically to them rather than just something generic. He says, first, the link in your YouTube channel and on the cover of your channel is not working. You need to fix it. But the link in the About page is working. He was absolutely right. And thank you, Mahmoud. I fixed that. That was awesome. That is a great tip. He already, within 2 lines of the email, provided value. That is precisely what people are looking for, is providing value. Now, some people may say that pointing out mistakes is bad because you're, calling people out. But I'm not, it's a risky strategy because some people are sensitive. I'm not. I was grateful that this person helped me fix a problem. I think I was missing the HTTPS, and so it didn't do a through link. So pretty cool way to provide value to me right off the bat. He says, first, why are you building that blog? He's asking me a question. I'm thinking about it in my head. When you ask people questions in text, their mind kind of automatically wanders to answer the question. It's a way of creating engagement. It says, this may seem weird, but basically, you need to answer this question before getting any farther. Now, his English isn't great, but I'm willing to overlook that because he addressed it to me specifically because he put my website there and he helped me fix something right off the bat. So right in that case, I can overlook his English, don't care, because he's already provided value. He gets a pass, right? He's already ingratiated himself and done something for me. He gets a pass. It says, do you want to get more traffic to your YouTube channel, or you want to build a community about AI and ML? Now, he's already thinking about business. He's telling me he is on the level. He understands the conception of business. He understands that I'm out to make money with all of this, and it's great. He says, or is it all to be proof about your work to the next employer? And this dude is. I know you're a freelancer, by the way. Again, he's watching my content. He has something very specific to say to me, and he's already helping me to brainstorm. Or you want to sell a product through it, let's say a premium courses or coaching program or SaaS or anything else. You must define your target first. This dude understands business. He understands me on some level. He knows that I freelance. He knows that maybe I want to build a community. He knows that I have an end goal in mind. And he's trying to get to that end goal because he has to help me solve that problem. If he wants me to give him money, he has to help me solve whatever my problem is. That is the fundamental rule of business, is that if you want money from somebody, you got to solve their problem. On this channel, I help you solve the problem of learning artificial intelligence, particularly reinforcement learning, because it's a very difficult field, and any help you can get is generally going to be appreciated. So he is helping me solve problems, telling me he's on the level, and then he goes on to say, after that, you need to need to define your target demography of users and define the message you want to send them. This is absolutely right. You got to find out who you're talking to and, speak their language, which is precisely what he has done. He's demonstrating he can do it by doing it. Then you need to brand all that in a suitable branding, which includes colors, fonts, website, all that stuff. That I suspect he's just tossing in because he probably does web design. I don't, it's true, but I'm not as worried about that. But fine. You need to define the functionality that your website needs. So you start by finding their solutions to use with it, whether using WordPress or blah, blah, blah. So then I'm not going to read all of it, but the point of the matter is he has done his homework. He knows I'm using WordPress for the website, and then he goes on to talk about all that other stuff. And at the bottom he says, if you have any questions or just want to discuss, don't hesitate to reply to the email. You can't see it because my face is blocking it, but he basically says, hey, if you want to talk, don't hesitate to reply to the email. Now, the only sin he made here is that he didn't follow up. I didn't reply to this. This is from the beginning of the year. What he should have done is 2 weeks later said, hey, I know you got my email, because he probably put an email tracker in here. He should have said, hey, I know you got my email, or I think you got my email, or did you get my email? Let's talk. That's the other rule, is that you must follow up. After writing a powerful email like this, a good email, something that provides value, solves my problem, speaks to me on my level, tailored to me specifically, and gets me interested. He did get me interested. I just don't have I'm not in the market for these services, but he should have at least followed up, because he doesn't know I'm not in the market, right? He doesn't know why I didn't reply. That's the other thing, is you must learn to face rejection. So you're going to write dozens of emails, and hopefully many of them get opened. If you are good at crafting the subject line like this guy, then you will get a high open rate. Something like 50%, 60, 70% of the people at least open your email and read it. And if they don't reply, then there's only two possibilities. Either you targeted the wrong person, or the stuff you said was wrong. And the only way you can figure that out is through volume. You got to do volume and repetition, just like anything else in life. But his main sin was not following up. So when I was selling AdWords services, I was studying sales, and there was always a statistic thrown around that the most sales were closed between the 7th and 12th contact. So that means that you're not going to send one email and get a sale. Almost never going to happen. You have to send an email and try to set up a phone call, or a Skype call, something like that. And if the first email doesn't work, if you know they opened it, then you need to send up a follow-up email to try to connect with them, because maybe they're interested and they just forgot. They opened it, read it, life happens, and they forgot. And in which case, nudging them again with another email, providing a little bit more value, isn't going to cause any issues, no real friction, right? People are worried about sending too many emails and wearing out the target market, but that's not really the problem. That isn't the problem. The problem is going to be that you don't email enough. So err on the side of emailing too much, and keep emailing until they reply, or either they're going to say, hey, leave me the hell alone, or they're going to say, yeah, let's talk. I forgot to reply to you. This is great. Either way, you're going to advance the process. Either you cross them off your list, or you advance the process and move forward. So how do you know if they've opened the email? You can use a tool called Banana Tag. Banana Tag is a bit of software that embeds like a little snippet of JavaScript in the email that they don't see, and it's just a tracking cookie so that when the email gets opened, or if you pay for the premium service, when they click links inside of it, like if you want to get the prospect to go to a video or a website, you can know when they do that. Then you can tailor your sales approach to the level of engagement. So if they just open the email but don't click the link, that means something different than if they open the email and click the link. So you can track whatever they do once they open the email, and that gives you leverage to keep following up until they reply. You get your sales call and advance the process. Now, once you get the sales call, you need to understand that the purpose of the call is to be as quick and concise as possible. It's a real quick meet and greet to find out if they're in the market, if they have the money, and if you can provide the value they need. Remember, all this is about providing value. If you're pitching to an investor, they're going to want to know what the target market is, what the size of the market is, how much money you're already making, how much you're spending, and they're going to want to know all your metrics. If you're trying to find a client for a website, they're going to want to know, what type of return on investment they can expect. If they can go from getting no calls to too many calls, that's a good problem. Or if they're getting too many calls, how can they pare those down? Maybe they're getting too many, too many superfluous calls, and so they want to pare that down because it's clogging up the system. Any way you can solve their problems, and you may find that the problem you thought they had is not the problem they actually have, but maybe you can help them solve it and make a little bit of money in the process, because that's the name of the game, baby. You got to eat. You got to get paid, man. You're highly skilled. You know what you're doing. You got to get paid for it. So this has been a quick overview of the art of cold emailing. I want to recap really quick. Write a headline that is relevant to the person you're trying to reach. It should include something specific, like, hey, I saw your podcast. Hey, I read your article. I agree with you. I visited your website and here's how to make it better. Something like that. Do the research on the target and speak to them directly. Speak as if at least make a guess at what you think their problems are, or at least think on their level. Think about, if you were in their shoes, what would you be trying to do? And this guy did that, where he says, you're trying to build a community, trying to build a portfolio. What's your end game with this? You got to think about that and then execute on that. So think like the person you are trying to reach, and then follow up. Make sure that you keep sending messages until they reply, either in the affirmative, hey, let's talk, or in the negative, hey, leave me the hell alone, take me off your list. I got plenty of those emails. It's no problem. It doesn't matter. You just take them off the list and you move on with life. And you focus on the people that do reply and that you want to help, that want your help, and that are willing to pay you money. So once again, check out Alex Berman's channel. I'll link it in the pinned comment, because he has all of this and far, far more. That's his business, cold outreach, getting leads for businesses. So he knows way more about it than I do. This is just sharing my experience, some of my examples of bad emails, bad cold messaging on LinkedIn. Maybe in another video I can talk about how to generate inbound traffic through things like YouTube, things like LinkedIn articles, or even Forbes or Entrepreneur or whatever. If you'd like to hear about that, leave a comment down below. If you found this helpful, leave a comment as well. Make sure to share. And hey, I know only 13% of you are getting my notifications, so hit that bell and hit the subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.